Oh, baby, I'm Booby Smooth, the politician. I'm standing right here on 155th Street, the mecca of street basketball, baby. We aim to please. You know what's up in here last year? We had Fat Joe, Shaquille O'Neal, and Bubba Bill Clinton. You know what I'm talking about, baby. This is a new season. We aim to please. Stay tuned. I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Stay tuned, baby. We're back.
As you can see, the EBC was very important in the early 2000s. Had everybody coming out to the street ball courts, including celebrities who watched the game. There were celebrities like Fat Joe who had teams. You know, Fat Joe owned a team of street ball players, and he called in favors. Sometimes he would call in an NBA player to play for his team because they're in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. EBC was for the people, it was for the fans. It was outside, it was the next generation of what happens after Dr. J and the birth of N 1. So it stands for the Entertainers Basketball Classic. It's in New York City. This one will be in the Bronx because that's where Kemba Walker is from. Kemba Walker is the point guard for Captain Clutch. That's Captain Clutch. They call him Cardiac Kemba because he's a very clutch player. 6 foot, barely 200, but can dribble his ass off. He's from the Bronx. Has street ball essence in his game. Says he'd rather play the game like street ball than actual, like, you know, official type shit. But can shoot the three, can create a shot, can pass, can play make. He's not gonna dunk it all over you, but you know, he's been the man since college. Honestly, when he was playing for UConn, he was doing this at UConn when he was shaking people up. There's a famous highlight of him shaking somebody to the ground and then shooting the shot and making it to win the game. That's all he's ever done is shoot the shot to make the shot to win the game. Excuse me. He's always going to shoot it. They're always going to give him the ball because they know what he's going to do with it. That's Kemba Walker. Like he was the man of Charlotte for a long time because Jordan trusted him. Jordan put his trust in Kemba Walker for a very, very long time. Kenny the Jet Smith, people know him for announcing and being an announcer and on the panel and all.
Kenny Smith, who competed in the three-point shootout, the first player ever to compete in 2 events here. Charles Barkley could do that if we could get him to do it. He could go into the three-point and the slam dunk. Oh, Kenny Smith surprised us a couple of years ago, and he may be on that track again.
He was the first to do both, almost like a Damian Lillard. Scottie Pippen, not exactly from the city, he's from the country, but he played in Chicago, he played for a big city, and he's just a very solid player. He can pass, he can dribble. He was a small forward, he was a guard, he brought the ball up, he was a playmaker. He rebounded very well, he played defense the best, he was one of the best defenders in the league. He'll put it over your head. He's a crowd pleaser. He'll do it for the crowd. And he's not exactly the highest jumper, but he's one of the most ferocious because it doesn't matter. He'll put his body on the line just so he can either win or end your career. One of the two. Scottie Pippen was never at a loss for words. You know, he was also a trash talker too. Basically the soul of a city guy within a country guy. And that's not the first person like that on this team. Shawn Kemp, a.k.a. Rain Man. People call him Rain Man because he'll rain down on you. But it's so easy to give you dunk highlights of Shawn Kemp because it's like Vince Carter. There's so many. But what he does really is dribble. He was one of the fewer playmaking dribbling power forwards. You know, he was more face up. He wasn't going to be back to the basket all the time. This is basically an an origin of a Julius Randle type, where you can shoot mid-range. You shoot a little bit, but you're mostly a face-up, just kind of going through the traffic type of player. That was mostly Julius Randle in Kentucky, and he's kind of evolved into that. With Shawn Kemp, his dunks were out of this world. That's what separated him. Brook Lopez, 7 foot, like 240, slow guy. He can shoot the mid-range very well. He does post moves pretty good. He's not exactly the best rebounder, but he is a defensive body in the paint. And he has a lot of finesse. He stayed in Brooklyn. He loved Brooklyn. He's from California, but once again, he has turned himself into a city guy. He's a New York guy. He loves just being in the essence of New York. And he wants to please the crowd. Not exactly in a flashy way, but as an efficient. People want him to be on the court. Andre Drummond, garbage man. Now, if you say garbage man, people think garbage, that's a negative thing, but no, garbage man is positive. Why? Because sometimes there's trash shots, what they call trash in the paint. He cleans it up. He cleans it up like the garbage man. This is what Andre Drummond does. He just, whatever shot you got, if it's coming off the rim, he's getting it. And he's putting the garbage away. 6'11", 265. You don't really push him around. He pushes you around. He also has a pretty high vertical for someone his height and weight. He doesn't really shoot the ball. He doesn't really dribble the ball. He's just a big guy in the paint that has a nose for rebounding very well. And hops. Nate Robinson, the little general, 5'9". Me and him, almost the same height. 150. This man can dribble his ass off. He's from Washington, Seattle, but has the essence of a street ball player and can put it over your head. You heard me right. 5'9", but can put it over your head. Has dribbling skills out the ass. You know, he's made a couple people fall in his career. Has mid-range, 3-point, can lay it up with creativity. And he's a sneaky blocker. He's blocked some of the tallest people. He's blocked some of the best people in the league. Chased down mostly, but sometimes he just blocks you head up. I believe he's blocked Yao Ming one time. But his vertical is crazy. So he uses it to his advantage, not only doing jump shots, not only dunking or laying it up, but steals and blocks also. Clutch player. Back when Derrick Rose was injured, he was doing a lot of clutch plays for the Bulls. He started off with the Knicks. He's lived and played in New York. ISO Joe Johnson. Another person that's played in New York. They call him ISO Joe because back when he was in Atlanta, you give him the ISO at the end of the game and you let him do his thing. He's 6'8", 240. So he's not the fastest. He doesn't jump the highest. But he has dribbling skills of a point guard. Brings the ball up. He's a good playmaker. They depend on him to playmake. Pretty average passer. His mid-range scoring is out the ass. He can shoot the three. Now, Julius Randle. Pretty much the updated version of a Shawn Kemp here. 6'9", 250. Can shoot the mid-range. Has a face-up kind of post-game. Not necessarily a back-to-the-basket type of person. What's new is because you're in the 2020s, the big man can shoot the three, and so can Julius Randle. Latrell Sprewell, By the way, this is probably the most highlights for a team I think we've had since like the Bad Boys. But speaking of Bad Boys, Latrell Sprewell grew braids towards the end of his career, but 6'5", 220, can dribble, playmaking skills very good, goes to the rim, recklessness, very smart player. Overall, that I think that's what got him above and into the All-Star game sometimes, and just a name basically. Even when he was playing with KG, he was playing with Patrick Ewing, he was playing with a lot of people, but Latrell remained his own name. Brandon Jennings. I gotta show y'all some Brandon Jennings highlights because I just love the guy, man. 6'1", scored 50 points in the game his rookie year. Not 200. He doesn't jump the highest. He's not necessarily the fastest, but a pretty fast guy on the court. From California, didn't go to college, played overseas. Man has street ball essence once again. Not from the city, but he does all the city things. He'll cross you up, and he can make you look stupid a little bit. All of his highlights are just very exciting. Terrence Ross, speaking of exciting, very exciting dunker, does crazy dunks in game. Of course, he was in the dunk contest before, I think more than once. 6'6", 210. He could shoot the three, he could shoot the mid-range. His dribbling skills are okay. He's not exactly dependent on to be a playmaker. He's more so just like a catch and do your thing. But when he does his thing, man, oh man, his vertical, crazy. Does creative stuff. James Wiseman, 7'1", prospect, gonna get better. LiAngelo Ball, I gotta give y'all LiAngelo Ball, man. He's never played a real official NBA game, but he's played for the Hornets in the Summer League, and he was balling. So, of course, he can't be on the NBA team because he's not on the NBA team now, but the Ringers are a street ball team. So, we have LiAngelo Ball, 6'5", 240, almost an ISO Joe light, shooting the three like LaMelo, going to the rack like Lonzo. Doesn't have either of their passing or playmaking skills. Benjamin Walker, Stephen Dawkins, I believe is real, but Benjamin is not. Mid-range scoring, three-point scoring, and layups are strengths. They have zero weaknesses, fool. EBC, you're going to have the nickname on the back. Scottie Pippins is Pip. That's why I didn't touch his name. You got the orange joint sponsored by Off-White, of course. Rest in peace, Virgil. And you got the alternate joints sponsored by Jordan, the EBC, got the 90 shoes on, and that's the court sponsored by Kemba Walker, as you can see on the right corner right there. Yeah, that's the Sack House's court.